Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 1 on Blu ray, Episode 4. It's called The Code of Honor. And this is officially day 2 of our 30 days of Star Trek review. So here we go. So this episode, Code of Honor, is one of the probably many episodes that nowadays is considered problematic. Also, check out these guys. So we get these guys that are on a world where these guys need to get a vaccine for another world. But these guys have some really sexist and outdated ideas of how to do stuff where women they own the property, but the men manage it. And when they see how strong Tasha Yar is, they're all like, what? A woman is a member of your security team? And of course, this guy immediately falls in love with her. Like so.
A woman? The chief of security? Yes, Lieutenant, that is her expertise.
So we get our obligatory per Tasha Yar episode, her throwing a dude scene. Okay, one really cool thing about the intro is when the Enterprise flies by right here. Let's see if I can do it in slow motion. And you can see the rear windows. You can see little people inside moving around. Look at that. I don't know if you can pick it up because it's too bright, but you can see someone kind of walking by. That's so cool. That's such a cool little detail. So one of the things that I've always loved about Star Trek Next Generation is the holodeck. And I just remember talking for endlessly with friends about the crazy stuff we would do in the holodeck. But I like in episodes when we just get little tidbits of how it works. And then this is also like a super sci-fi-ish concept right here, where if you create someone in the holodeck, do they have a soul? Or if you clone someone, do they have a soul? Or if there's a replicant, do they have a soul? And so this guy asks that question here, and we get some it's kind of classic sci-fi.
Without a soul?
It's not a real person, Lieutenant.
Without a soul?
It has no life. Everything it does is controlled by computer.
So she gives him a demo. She fights the Aikido guy, and then the Aikido guy beats up his little assistant. But this is the best pickup line in all of history and time. So get your pen out. Get your pen out. This is the best. I'm not kidding. Best pickup line of all time.
Your skill impresses me. I like you.
You can tell by her face that it worked. So even though this show is highly episodic, one of the things I love about it is there's these little plot threads that run through the entire series. We're going to go over a couple of those. But this is one of them. Just Wesley being so smart and knowing all the stuff on the ship and him being allowed to do stuff on the ship. Even though in the very last episode he actually took over the ship. I guess he was inebriated with space alcohol. But anyway, this is one of the threads that he's learning, and then also that Captain Picard is softening up towards children. But look at this.
It's all right, sir. I'll see that he leaves immediately.
No.
No?
Why don't you sit at ops next to Lieutenant LaForge?
So yeah, he's softening up. He's gonna let him do some shadow time. So anyway, that's just one of the threads that's going throughout the series that I like. I remember really not liking him when I was watching this when I was younger, but I actually completely don't mind Wesley. I mean, he's super on the spectrum and annoying, and they have a lot of episodes where he does some crazy stuff, but overall, I actually like him. Fight me. Another thing this show does in abundance is they establish some kind of rule, like the Prime Directive, or, for example, right here, where Riker doesn't ever want to let Picard go on away missions, and then an episode or two later, or sometimes during the same episode, they then find some way to break said rule.
Captain led this away party.
Agreed,
Oh,
sir.
Riker's
The
mad.
customs concerning guests make it much preferable.
And I'm very much against that idea. Lutan is clearly a liar and devious.
So he's against that idea, but he's about to fold here in about 2 seconds and go against the thing that in the very first episode he said he was never going to do, which is let Picard go on an away mission. All right, we are about to go from 0 to 100 here. So he's talking about how he's done the abduction and that's their custom. And now Picard has to ask for him back. And then we get to see how spicy and exotic these people are.
I find that I cannot part.
Uh-oh, he's not going to give her away. Gasp! Uh-oh, his wife's mad.
Speak of a code of honor. What you are saying now, according to our customs, is called an act of war.
Picard talks about war.
This is not an act of war, but of love.
Oh, she's so mad.
To become my first one.
I challenge your right of supersedence.
Fight to the death.
Challenge supersedence for over 200 years.
The right is mine, I will have it. Natasha Yar, I challenge you. A struggle to the death.
It's just like they're at this little ceremony and he's supposed to just get her back and he's like, I can't give it back. It's for love. And then they're just everyone starts freaking out. Anyway, this is the scene really got my pulse going because it was so intense. So speaking of Star Trek being a place where you can learn things, highly important things on how to run your life and how to interact with people, this scene teaches me something that I didn't know. Let's listen to it.
See, you too understand the proper value of women.
Women in value.
We understand that they are highly pleasant things, but after all, unimportant, except for the land they own. You are...
Whoa! I mean, good thing they're on this spicy exotic planet, because that is a backwards thing. Highly pleasant things. Thanks, Star Trek. So speaking of this way this episode is playing out, where there's this backwards planet, there's this crazy challenge going to happen, certain of these episodes feel like the original series episode. Like an episode from the original series, and this is definitely one of them. So like I mentioned earlier, this is another one of the threads throughout the series that is a joy to watch. Just in general, how the crew gets along with each other and how they talk things out and they're buddies and stuff. But these two, their friendship is awesome to watch. And so Data's in here telling bad jokes to Geordi. And
We always come back to the human equation.
Exactly.
trying to be more human.
Have you continued to work on it?
Constantly, my friend.
Yeah, it's just endearing watching them be friends and him try to be more human and him value humanity. And so we get to learn like important human-y things by watching how much he envies those little human things that we might take for granted. So we watch him aspire to be them and then we say, oh yeah, I do like that about being a human. So good job, Star Trek. This is another thing that I love about this show in general, that this is just a little example of. So Picard gets caught monologuing again, of course, but when he's monologuing about Earth's past, which is still our future, sometimes our present and our past, but lots of times they talk about Earth's past from their perspective, which is actually our future. Anyway, it ends up being really awesome exposition just for like the setting of the show, but here's Picard monologuing a little bit.
That is, ironically, what this is about. By our standards, customs here, their code of honor is the same kind of pompous, strutting charades that endangered our own species a few centuries ago. We evolved out of it because no one tried to impose their own set of... I'm sorry, this is becoming a speech.
I love Picard's speeches, and I would watch them all day long. Anyway, they're always... It's always this push and pull with the Prime Directive where they could just take what they want, but they would be violating it, and so they have to be nice space spandex friends. Check out this extra. Look right at the camera. This guy right here. He's the violator.
Ship's log. Commander William.
Did you see that?
Continue.
The planets look so good in the remastered version. They have like little clouds and the atmospheric glow and like topographical details. It's just one of the many things in the remastered version that is awesome to watch. Look at this intense action scene. It's so intense. I Those spiky gloves are so scary. So Tasha survives this time, and the lady drops the dude as her first husband and picks the other guy. It was his second, and they ask her if she wants him, and she's like, no, there would be complications. But she seems like she wanted to say yes for a minute there.
I have my.
You want him?
She asks if she wants him. Look at,
No.
look at, she's tempted. Boop.
There would
She's tempted.
be complications.
Then I will have you as my number 2.
Ooh.
Take your place.
So now this lady has two guys. Good job. So I always think it's interesting what warp factor they choose to go depending on what situation, right? Like warp 1 through warp 9. You think warp 9. So warp 9 is what I gather is like rough on the ship, but it's like the super fastest they can go. And so you would think in times of urgency, which is this time because they're trying to get the vaccine that they acquired to this planet, that it would be like warp 9 or warp 8, like some big number. But let's see how fast they're going to go to this.
Course for Styrus 4, Warp 3.
Warp 3!
Course
Come
laid
on!
in for Styrus
Go
4, sir.
faster!
Engage.
Let's go! I mean, seriously. So, I guess Riker just wants to mosey his way over there to deliver the vaccine to the millions of people that are dying. Anyway, I don't get it. I think they should go faster. Faster than what's safe. All right, this has been day 2 of a Star Trek review every day for 30 days. So again, the Blu-rays are amazing, and they're definitely better than the streaming. And hopefully, I really just watching it again, and there's a little bit of digital noise and stuff. Man, I would love a 4K of this series so much. But that episode was one of the cheesy ones. It just feels like an original series episode. There's things in it I like that I highlighted, like a lot of the friendships and the plot threads. But ultimately, this is kind of a dumber one. But still, it's a great Tasha Yar one. But yeah, let me know what you think if you've seen this episode and if you're on board for more reviews this month. All right, thanks. Bye.